Hi guys, Tyler Hamill or Variety Network, and today we're going to be doing 10 terrifying creepy photos of real ghosts that will make your skin crawl. Or for short, 10 terrifying and creepy photos of real ghosts. Let's get started. So, our first one, number 10, is none other than this creepy ghost. Now this ghost, the cemetery ghost child. The cemetery ghost child. The picture was taken by a woman named Miss Andrews while on a visit to her daughter's grave at a cemetery in Queensland, Australia, in the 1940s. The daughter, Joyce, before the age of 17, Miss Andrews saw nothing unusual while taking this photograph of her daughter's tombstone. But when she got it developed, she was shocked to see the apparition of what looked like the ghost of a young girl sitting on the grave. Miss Andrews was unable to recognize the child nor believed it to be the ghost of her daughter in her youth. Upon further investigation, paranormal researchers found the gravesite of Miss Andrews' daughter to be near the graves of two infant girls. The ghost in the picture seems to be aware of Miss Andrews' presence as she is seen looking directly at the camera. Poor soul, so young. Alright guys, now for number 9. Number 9 is going to be the White Lady of High Hall. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. The White Lady is rumored to be the ghost of Lady Mabel Bradtye, a lady of the manor at High in the early 14th century. She was married to the knight William Bradtye in 1315. William fled the country after his involvement in a rebellion against the Earl of Lancaster. Hearing nothing from her husband for many years, Lady Mabel eventually remarried. However, William returned back in 1322. He killed his wife's new husband and resumed living at the High Manor house until 1333, when he fought another rival and this time was killed himself. In penance for her bigamy, I think, Lady Mabel made a daily barefoot walk to a stone monument just outside Wigan's north wall, a total distance of about 6 miles. No one really knows how Lady Mabel's ghost looks so creepy. She was not an evil person in life, though she was said to be unhappy in her final days. They say you must never look at her face. Its vacant features has left many insane and forced to lose their minds. So never look at her face. Which is advice I need to be taking because I just looked at it right after I read that because I am an idiot. The next one, the Brown Lady of Raynham Hall. So, the Raynham Hall, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, ghost, popularly known as the Brown Lady, is perhaps the most famous ghost ever captured on camera. The photo of her, yeah, I remember this now, on the staircase was taken in 1936 at Rainman Hall, Norfolk, England, and is in fact the most authentic paranormal photographs of all time. The Brown Lady, named so because she appears in a brown brocade dress, is widely believed to be the ghost of Lady Dorothy Walpole, who married Charles II Viscount Townshend in 1713. Residents of Raynham Hall. It was rumored that Dorothy had been a mistress of Lord Wharton before she married Charles. Dorothy was thus suspected of infidelity by Charles. Although legal records say that she was buried in 1726, it was suspected that the funeral was just a hoax and that Charles had locked his wife away in a remote corner of the house until her death many years later. Yikes. Whatever be the reason of her death, it was all too mysterious, and if that wasn't enough, people started reporting sighting of her ghost shortly after her death, which were fairly unauthentic and couldn't be proved. But one account of sighting by a man named Major Loftus, who was staying at Raynham Hall in 1849, has been regarded as an authentic source. Retiring to bed one night, Major Loftus and his friend observed a woman in brown brocade on the staircase. She immediately vanished as Major Loftus tried to approach her. Stuffy nose. Determined to confront the apparition, he returned to the same spot the following night and saw her again. He was horrified to see, however, that when he looked into her face, he saw only 2 black sockets where her eyes should have been. Creepy and unsettling, to say the least. Yes. Yeah. So, number 7. Number 7, guys, is going to be the SS Watertown Ghosts. The SS Watertown Ghosts are classic examples of real ghosts caught on film. The story behind the photograph dates back to December 1924. The SS Watertown was making its way to the Panama Canal from New York City. Crewmen, seamen, seaman James Courtney and Michael Meehan were assigned to clean out a cargo tank of the oil tanker as the ship sailed through the Pacific Ocean. But as tragedy has it, the seamen were overcome by gas fumes during the task and died before help could reach them. Following the tradition of the sea, their bodies were committed to the ocean on December 4th. The following day, just before dusk, the first mate reported seeing the faces of the two men in the waves off the port side of the ship. They were seen for 10 seconds but then faded. For several days after that, the crew reported consistently seeing the phantom-like faces of the doomed sailors in the water who seemed to be following the ship. Every now and then, the entire ship was in uproar. Once the ship arrived at New Orleans, the ship's captain, Keith Tracy, reported the strange events to his employers, the city's service company, who suggested he tried to photograph the eerie faces. In the continuing voyage, Captain Tracy took 6 snapshots once the ghosts were spotted again, out of which 5 showed nothing but foam upon development, but the 6th photo clearly showed the doomed sailors' floating heads in the sea. From then on, there have been frequent sightings of the SS Watertown ghosts by many ships and sailors in the following years, doomed to roam the sea for their untimely and tragic deaths. So yeah, looking at the picture, you can see about 4 people, you know. So number 6. Number 6 is the ghost at the Waverly Hills Sanitarium, Kentucky. Here's the sanitarium where you can see her ghost. Coughing up blood, overcrowded, understaffed, bizarre, unethical, twisted treatments. Welcome to Waverly Hills Sanitarium, a medical facility that was once dedicated to treat patients suffering from tuberculosis long before the modern cure was discovered. Without the antibiotics, the hospital provided the only known cure at that time: fresh air and sunshine, and thus the patients spent the majority of their time in the solarium-like porchways. There were many other unethical ways that were used to treat patients which were downright dangerous, and only 5% patients survived the treatment. It is believed that as many as 8,000 patient dead bodies were carelessly thrown down a chute and then taken out of the building through an underground tunnel. This method of disposing the bodies was kept confidential by doctors' orders who wanted patients to be unaware of the quantity of dead bodies. But with the discovery of the antibiotic that could successfully treat and cure tuberculosis, the sanitarium was closed down. Many believe that the spirits of the patients still roam about the hospital in search of answers. The most famous being of a nurse named Mary Lee, who happened to contract the disease, but the story takes a horrific twist when she was found hanging from a light apparatus in room 502. Some believe she took her life after she found out that she was pregnant with a child from one of the doctors and unmarried. Tragically, her body laid undiscovered for a long time. The picture above is of the ghostly figure captured on camera. So, yeah, that picture that you're looking at, this picture right here, and this picture is the, the crazy asylum-like place, the sanitarium. She is believed to be of Mary Lee, forever roaming the corridors of the hospital, groaning in pain. Poor lady. Alright, guys, we have gone through the first the first 5, and we're done to the next 5. So, number 5, the Ghost of Oak Grove, Kentucky. Another Kentucky one. Alright. Also known as the Ghost Bridge, it is surrounded by several different versions of the story, but only one of them can be verified. The ghost roaming the bridge is of an unfortunate wife who was thrown off the bridge into the water and killed by her soldier husband in the 1960s. God, I hope not. One story also mentions that on a certain night you can see her decomposing body walking the area under the bridge or on top of the bridge. It is said that if you happen to turn your car off on the bridge, it will not start again unless you push it off the bridge or till the sun comes up. Jeez. Fact or fiction, you decide. This is the Ghost of Oak Grove, Kentucky. So be aware if you go to Oak Grove, Kentucky. There's a ghost. Number 4. The Pickens County Courthouse Ghost, guys. Popularly known as the face in the window, the mysterious face staring out of the Pickens County Courthouse in Carrollton, Alabama, is one of Alabama's best-known ghosts. It can be sighted anytime, day or night, constantly staring out of your window. The story revolves around a former slave named Henry Wells. Freed at the end of Civil War, legend holds that he was accused of burning the courthouse to ashes. Arrested but pursued by a lynch mob, Wells is said to have fled to hide in the attic of the third courthouse, which was under construction. As the angry mob searched frantically for him, Wells peered out of a window to watch. To his shock, however, the lightning struck him at that very moment and forever etched his face over the window. It is widely believed to this day that the ghostly face of Henry Wells continues to peer down from the courthouse window. Do you think that guy's is real? Do you think this picture is real or fake, fiction or non-fiction? I'll let you guys decide that one as we go to number 3. You probably are already debating about all these other ones that you've seen, but let's see what you think about number 3, which is the Amityville Ghost. I am hearing something. You can see her right there if you can't. She's right there in the stairway. Here, I'll zoom in. Bam, right there. And then there's also a better picture right here. So, let's get started with this one. We'll look at this one. So, in the early morning hours of November 13th, 1974, Ronald DeFeo Jr. Fatally shot his father, 2 brothers, and sister. The bodies were found face down on the respective beds with no signs of bullet wounds on the corpses or any struggle. And even though the neighbors lived close by, none of them heard sounds, screams, or noises. Mr. DeFeo claimed that ghosts were present during the events and had guided him into eliminating his siblings through his original intent was just to execute his father. The home at 112 Ocean Avenue eventually went up for sale and was later purchased by George and Kathy Lutz. Though they were told by the realtor about the tragedy, the Lutz were so enamored, I guess, with a home, pool, garage, and 4,000 square feet of waterfront that they immediately made an offer. The next 28 days followed a set of horrific paranormal activities that would shock the Lutz family. From the possessed suicidal dog to the image half-headed demon on the wall, green slime running off of keyholes, and spirits staring blankly through the bedroom windows, the Lutz family constantly encountered a ghostly presence in the doomed house. Finally, when they could take it no more, they were forced to evacuate the house in a hurry. They called in investigators to study the place, all of whom claimed to have felt a strange presence in the house. One of the investigators happened to click a photo of the boy ghost peeking out of a room. As you can see right there that I'm showing you. He clearly is peeking out. And it looks like there's other eyes too. Like, hold up one second before I read the rest. If you look carefully, right there up in the top, it looks like there's eyes right there too. I'll let you guys decide that, but maybe there was more to that photo. Anyways, let's continue. Whether or not facts of this case were stretched or a complete hoax altogether, it still remains one of the most frightening and sensationalized ghost stories of our time. So let's get to number 2. Number 2 is, as you can already see, it is the hospital demon, which is on that table. Whether or not this is real or maybe a person, we'll never know for sure because this photo was captured by a nurse on a surveillance camera at an unknown hospital. That's why. The image shows a dark, crouched figure resembling a demon standing on top of a patient's body who was lying in bed. Oh, that's a patient's body. Oh my god, I thought it was a table. Well, that just puts a lot to perspective. The nurse also noticed the black figure walking up and down the body of the patient. Within a few hours of the dark figure's appearance, the patient had died. So maybe the demon was like the Grim Reaper and decided to take it. Who knows? Or it was waiting for it to die, the person to die, and then took its soul. Who knows? As creepy as it may sound, demon-like figures have been reportedly seen at hospitals. Some say hospitals are the breeding ground for demons. It's where they lurk about, waiting for the next soul to die so they can drag them to hell. See, it's kind of like the Grim Reaper, like I said. However, no authentic sources can be cited in support of such claims, so we'll never know for sure. But if it is true, obviously we know that there's not only possible angels, only angels living on Earth, but there's also demons. Number 1, most of you people have seen this, but I'm going to go ahead and explain to people who haven't seen it yet. This is the Cooper family hanging ghost. Whether this one is fake or not, I don't know if it debunks it, so we're going to go and read through it. So, as scary as it looks, this picture has been shrouded in mystery for years now, and it is probably the most peculiar ghost caught on camera. The story goes back to the mid-1950s, taking place in Texas. The Cooper family had just moved into an old house that they bought and were really excited about it. So they thought of preserving this memory by taking a picture of the whole family in their new home. But little did they know that there was someone else joining in on their celebration. A spooky figure hanging upside down from the ceiling There are perhaps other stories that state that an actual body did fall off from the ceiling exactly at the time the photograph was being taken. Why the face of the body remains darkened is another mystery. A faceless body or paranormal activity. Who knows which part is true? So it has not been debunked, so this one might be real. Now, even if you were trying to debunk this, I'm going to state some facts right now about why it probably could be real. Number one, this is an older picture, so I don't think that photoshopping was automatically anything. Number two, hanging a body off a ceiling is a really hard thing to do, if you can do that at all, let alone the face being pitch black as it is. Now, I'm not saying that they couldn't Photoshop, because who knows how technology was. None of us were alive then when this picture was taken. Well, I can't say that none of us were, but us people of the 90s and 2000s and 80s, they were not alive during this photo, and perhaps more, maybe even the 70s. Yeah, I think so. But we won't know for sure if there was Photoshop or not, because we weren't alive at that time. Only a couple people were. So I hope you liked this video. Thanks for watching, and please hit that subscribe button like last time, and I will see you in the next video. So remember, hit that subscribe button, give it a like, and I will see you in the next video.